Hello and welcome to episode 99 of Ring Takes. Episode 99, one way from 100, almost there. 99, man. So we've been in it for the long haul. We're going to continue. A lot of stuff happening this week, but we're on the road to WrestleMania. We're officially 18, no, 17 days away, roughly, from WrestleMania. So it's right around the corner. We're building up steam. Let's get right into it. Cody and Cena's war of words on Raw. I feel like this was probably one of their better promos between the two. These two guys really teared into each other, to say the least, and finally got physical. So what do you guys make of this confrontation between these two guys?
Well, this was just very entertaining. You can definitely tell by this one. It almost seemed like for the last 2 weeks worth of promos, that it's kind of like they were kind of like holding back because they knew, based upon like maybe John Cena's like limited availability. I think this Raw was his last advertised appearance until WrestleMania. I think, could be wrong. He might be coming on the go home show, but you can definitely tell they laid it all out there in this last segment. I mean, like I said, Dan, you mentioned that it did end up getting physical. I loved how they let it all out, because like I said, the last 2 weeks, not only it seemed like they were holding back, because you've seen John Cena in these promo segments before with guys, and you see he's so good sometimes with the one-liners and such that that he can overwhelm somebody. I mean, I use Austin Theory as an example for their build towards their WrestleMania. He verbally destroyed Austin Theory.
God damn it!
Right, so
God damn it!
So some people were even saying that, like, yeah, Cena's purposely holding back so Cody looks good, but they definitely and he referenced that in the promo, and then Cena went there. I mean, the Tony Khan references, the Vince McMahon references. I mean, like I said, they left it all out in the ring, and it definitely was a very entertaining segment. The ending of it would have you suggest that maybe John Cena is going over at WrestleMania if this is indeed his last advertised appearance before then. But it was very entertaining. It was very much well needed. Cody did mention Cena selling out to The Rock, so The Rock was mentioned in this promo. They didn't really elaborate from that, but at least that idea and his name was thrown out there. But like the physicality, it was the best promo segment that they've had, and the match needed it, because it seemed as though like the last 2 weeks were a little underwhelming. But now that you see what we got on Monday Night Raw, maybe that was done by design. Seeing it based upon Cena's limited availability, but it definitely was very, very entertaining, especially the Tony Khan reference at the end. I think I may have sent that message in the chat like live. Yeah. Happened. So, but that was entertaining.
What did he specifically say about Tony? I know he kept saying he's like, you needed to leave.
Cody, I say I build empires for billionaires. All you've done is steal money from their kids.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, this was definitely needed. I kind of liked how John Cena took a step back, and like when Cody was like, no, it's my turn. I feel like he even was like, all right, you go, and then let's see what you got, type thing. So I think it was definitely a great back and forth, him even kind of setting him up. All right, you want to talk crap about me? Why don't you talk about Stardust? Why don't you talk about me leaving? Why don't you talk about, my lisp, or just like, everything that's wrong?
He does has a crazy lisp. Like every time. Every time.
Yeah, but I think finally, that the he mentioned you selling out to The Rock and all that stuff, but it's like, if this is really his last appearance before WrestleMania, I'm like, can we at least go into like what this dynamic is? What does this mean? Or are we really just not going to get into this unless he wins, and then afterwards he'll be like, now I'm going to do this or whatever, even though he's talking all this I'm gonna take the title and take the ball home, and I'm gonna take this thing that you guys love so much and take it away from everybody. So I don't know. That right there kind of tells me he's not gonna win, but at the same time, I feel like he needs to win the title.
Yeah,
Like,
he's basically playing the Grinch.
Yeah,
that's what John Cena is in this whole story.
Yeah.
He's the Grinch.
I think we talked about it last week. I'm like, it's funny how he's literally doing the whole CM Punk thing, because it's literally what CM Punk was like. I'm gonna win at this PLE pay-per-view, and I'm taking my ball home. So it's like, I don't know, but it was definitely great work. Finally, they're laying hands on each other and stuff. So that was definitely needed. I really hope it's not his last appearance. I think we need more of this. I think it's just going to build more and more. It doesn't have to be there every week, but it's going to make WrestleMania more exciting if he shows up more. And, we can continue to dive into like what all this means with The Rock and the betrayal and all this stuff and the heel turn and everything. So.
Hold on one second. I'm just trying to find, because I think he is making more appearances. So hold on. I'm just looking for that.
All right.
But yeah, overall, I thought it was great. These two guys tearing into each other. Cody basically saying, hey, you're just going to go at the obvious things. There's nothing really you can attack. Basically saying, hey, the fans actually chose me, whereas Vince McMahon chose you, a guy that's not here anymore. You're not underneath your safety net, even though he's underneath the safety net of The Rock, apparently. But you don't have your safety net of Vince there to push you all the time and help you out and stuff like that in that regard. So I like that standpoint of it. And I like Cena going into, hey, you're a Nepo baby, basically, and playing on that stuff and saying you're only getting off your father's name and stuff like that. And basically said the whole billionaires comment, what Cena has built. And then now Cody is like kind of reaping the rewards from Cena. Kind of like that. And it's kind of like the play on Cena, basically saying the fans have sucked everything away from him. And now he's like, Cody's now benefiting from that. After all the sweat and tears I put into the business, all the matches I've had, everything that I gave, it's kind of tying into everything that John Cena started on that. Again, this was probably one of the best promo up to this point. And I think it's because they're on the overseas tour where they're kind of holding back a little bit. Hopefully we can get more indication of what The Rock is doing, what's happening with that. But they finally got physical. So, I mean, the only way this is we're all, the next part of the story is, how is John Cena going to retaliate? and I did like the touch of the black shirt from John Cena. I wish he would just go all black. Change your gear. That is what we need. We need a new look. Even if it's all black, I'm fine with that. And just go all out. That's the only
NWO shirt out.
Might as well.
Okay.
Might as well. That's my only thing about this whole thing, is that John Cena still comes out to the same music, still comes out to the same. Everything is the same for John Cena, besides the promo work, at least. So
that's probably on purpose. I'll probably say it's probably on purpose. Hopefully, we do get something different by the time Mania rolls around, but I don't know. We'll see.
So what date is it? It's April 2nd. Yeah, this is the last time. He's
the last time. So
it's so terrible. There's so much buildup.
So there's two things I want to mention. So number one, if he's not going to be there, they need to do a sit-down interview with him and Michael Cole, a taped sit-down interview.
Something, right?
Because Michael Cole has been very vocal on commentary, and now he's covered John Cena's career. I mean, he was on commentary when he debuted against Kurt Angle. So that can be something very compelling that they can do. That's number one. And number two, I wanted to ask you guys, seeing as that episode of Raw was the last overseas show, do you think that's something that they should do moving forward on the road to WrestleMania, having all these international shows?
I don't think so.
If they're gonna do it, I would say do it right after the Chamber. Do it right after the Chamber, because I maybe think there's one too many weeks of the show, because WrestleMania is 2 weeks away. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe there's a pathway there, a little bit of more rubber room that you need to get to WrestleMania and start the builds a set. Because I felt like a lot of the times, a lot of this stuff was kind of just put on back burner. I kind of felt like, and I felt like, and even though we did get some WrestleMania matches actually announced and actually going forward, but it just felt like a lot of things are being held back for when they return to the States next week. I believe they're going to be in Minnesota, correct? So, They're on the road. Hopefully they can get back and be strong, man, because it's like the booking hasn't been the best, but we are seeing some developments at least with this week. So I will give them that. Hopefully they continue to build on that. But the overseas tour thing is just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird. The crowds are great. The crowds are giving energy and stuff like that. So maybe that's what they're looking for heading into WrestleMania. Maybe to hide some of those not so good moments. You know what I mean? Maybe the crowd overtakes for that. So maybe that's what they're playing on. But definitely looking forward for them to come back stateside. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that they kind of use the fact that these overseas crowds eat up anything that they put out there. They use that concept as to say, like, okay, we don't necessarily have to like really like build this because the crowd atmosphere, it's going to come off very good on Netflix and on live TV, so we don't necessarily have to like push it as much. Whereas all the other fans in the States are kind of just like, yo, where's the build? Where's the story? Forward. So it's like,
let's go to where the fan base is grateful for our wrestlers and superstars and our shitty booking. But we'll see how it comes back stateside. Let's continue to move on here. CM Punk is finally in the main event at WrestleMania. But what is the favor? We're still trying to figure out what the favor is from Paul Heyman. Obviously, they had the contract signing between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and of course CM Punk. Those guys signed it. Great promo work from all three involved. We saw the emotion with CM Punk and Paul Heyman when he was ushered into the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. But what is the favor? But what do you guys think about this promo? I thought it was great. I love this moment. What do you guys make of it?
I just want to point out one specific thing about it because I also agree it was very good. I was dying when Seth Rollins overreacted the way that he did when Paul Heyman announced the match was going to be in the main event, and he was like screaming at CM Punk saying like he doesn't deserve it. Like no, like it's like, dude, you're in the match too. You're in the main event as well. So why are you so upset? You're in the main event too. Why the hell are you so upset that he's in it? You're like, you're a part of the match as well. And obviously, I get it because obviously the animosity between the two. Obviously, you don't want to see your greatest rival accomplish any of his dreams. So I get it from that standpoint. But I just thought it was very funny because he came off so whiny about it, and it was just like it just kind of shows the animosity. But I agree with you, Dan. It was a very good, very great promo. Definitely a good way to end SmackDown as far as the overseas aspect of it. I think that was SmackDown's last overseas show.
Yep.
Roman Reigns, the crowd was going crazy for him, and all three guys are they're top tier of WWE's roster. So whether it's both in ring and on promo work, you're gonna get the best of the best, and you definitely got that with the last two weeks. So very good.
Like we've been saying, this needs to be for something, and I hope that's what the favor turns us into. Because at first, I hadn't watched Raw, but then I hadn't watched SmackDown, but then I saw like clips or stuff being posted, like, "Oh, CM Punk is, they're, all the stuff about like how Jay and Gunther are main eventing and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Damn. But then I went and actually watched it, and like you guys said, like, Roman was great, just doing the whole tribal chief, like, this is all because of me. This is all because of my work. Seth just comes off so whiny in this whole thing.
Whoa. But is he right?
No. You know why he's not right? Because
why is he not right?
He tried to say how it was him and Roman, they came in, with the Shield and changed the landscape. But who's the one who betrayed who? And then who's the one who became the bigger star? It's Roman. Oh shit! Everything Roman was saying was facts. He's like,
I did like that.
We're elevated into this new era because of me. My reign, my bloodline, my work. Yeah, you've been here. Yeah, you've made waves, but you haven't done what I've done. So I was like, Roman is definitely right in this whole thing. His whole perspective and hatred for Punk is just like, it comes off so So like Brian said, it comes down to whiny because it's like the crowd and everybody right now loves CM Punk. Like, we're so, even me, and like I've been preaching for a bit, like, before Elimination Chamber, he was my pick because I'm like, I feel like Punk has been looking so good lately. It's like, how do you not have him in some type of main event spot or some type of title match or something, So, and I love seeing that, the way Paul Heyman was interacting with him, just as like, you're finally a WrestleMania main eventer. And even online, I saw an interview thing of just like, of Punk back in the day talking about how he, has been chasing this for so long. And even when he was here back then, he was like, I put too much pressure on myself of just, it's like you reach that peak of that height when you main event WrestleMania. And yeah, he had some great moments. He had matches with The Undertaker and stuff, and obviously spots on WrestleMania, but he never main evented. And it's eluded.
He arguably stole the show at WrestleMania. What was it, 29?
Yeah,
with an Undertaker.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was arguably the main event.
and him and Taker had a great story into that WrestleMania, like with and all that stuff, like
Paul Bearer,
all that stuff. It was great. So yeah, I thought it was great to see him, like, finally get that moment. And each person's playing their own role. I really hope something comes out of Seth or some type of change, because he's gonna need it at this point. So
as I predicted, Seth Rollins is going to join The Rock and John Cena.
He needs to at this point, honestly,
because he is being everything that he's going against. CM Punk is getting these opportunities. CM Punk is getting the main event. There was no discussion of that being the main event before that favor came in. Obviously, the favor comes in. That's where I'm like, Seth Rollins is right in a sense against CM Punk. Maybe not against Roman, but against CM Punk. Since the beginning, ever since there was rumors about CM Punk coming back, he was like, no, this guy's a cancer. He's wrong, XYZ. They've been against each other since day one, since CM Punk has come back. So to have that aspect of it, I'm just like, they're pushing Seth Rollins over the edge, and that's probably the next developing point of his character, which I love. So him going crazy is just going to be awesome, and I keep saying it. Bring back Becky Lynch as a heel, and have him and Seth,
or give me that Drew Seth KO faction. Like, I feel like they're all in that same, like,
kind of tier.
Sayers, and are we the fucking crazy ones? That nobody is believing in all these scenarios. That they all are pretty, like, in terms of like going against Roman, Punk, other people, like. They're all in that same space, so I could see that being a pretty good faction. But
yeah, definitely something needs to happen, because it's like Seth Rollins' character and all these other guys' characters are kind of pushing against the machine. Like, yo, this is not right. Like, in the core of everything, and especially those three guys. When you look at Drew, you look at KO, you look at Seth, they put a lot of work in. For the past couple of years, they put a lot of work in and been underappreciated. So. To see it from that standpoint, Roman and Seth, I love their going back and forth, because there's that history, and I've been saying it, that's a money match whenever they do it again. Just because of all the history with the Shield, that Royal Rumble match, Roman didn't beat Seth, so that's still hanging over his head. Like, there's still that in play. You got CM Punk coming into there, but it's just like, what is the favor? What is the favor? And as Lewis said, maybe it is, and maybe the match is the number one contendership for the title at some point after WrestleMania. Maybe that is it,
or SummerSlam or something. Who knows?
And I want to know, when is the relationship between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns going to deteriorate? Because if I'm Roman Reigns, I'm like, why are you helping this guy at all? Why are you doing anything?
And that's the thing. That's actually been a point of contention actually since War Games. So if you really want to think about it, like, that's something that they could have tapped into like a long time ago, because it's just like, you're my wise man, but yet you've been assisting him. You've been assisting him. Now, granted,
you got us help
in War Games. He did help us.
And another thing, if anything, he's asking Paul for the favor. Should he be asking Roman for the favor?
And he even said it. He's like, "You got this because of me." Because of me. So it's like, and you could even hint at the last two instances, like, when him and Seth were having that match, and Paul's over here like, oh, are you like, kind of like checking on them, and Roman's over here like,
what the hell are you checking him for?
Like, why are you checking on him for? So I'm curious to see when they're going to tap into that.
Yeah, they got to, because it's like something's going on. Something's going on. Something's happening.
Or the betrayal is going to happen at Mania. That would be crazy.
Another Paul Heyman betrayal.
Hey, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
It has been a while. But let's keep moving on. That was a great moment in Italy. The crowd was great. I love the energy in there. Those three guys are main event. Like, those guys that's a crazy storyline that I can't wait to see to continue to develop. But let's keep moving on to other proceedings in heavyweight title matches. Gunther sends a bloody message to Jey Uso. And I have been...
No, matter of fact, Daniel, go first, please. I was going to ask. No, because I actually want to hear this because
I have been nonchalant about this feud since that first promo between Jey Uso and Gunther, and it's not that we all, of course, Lewis picked Jey Uso as the dark horse to win the Royal Rumble. But ultimately, it was just like everyone was happy for that moment. We loved Jey Uso in that moment. We were like, wow, this is great. They're finally doing it. He's actually been working his ass off. The crowd is into him. He's selling merch. All these things going well for Jey Uso. And over the past couple of weeks, I have hated this storyline because I'm like, why is he working with A-Town down under? Why is he doing this? Where's Ludwig Kaiser in this? What's happening? Nothing's progressing in the storyline.
Leave him alone.
He's tripping over his own feet. He's falling out of the ring and stuff like that. I'm like, where's this going? This doesn't look like a right build. This doesn't look correct. And I don't know how you guys felt about it. I thought it was good elevation for Gunther that he attacked Jimmy Uso and bloodied him and butchered him in front of his brother. And I'm just like, that made Gunther look awesome. And we already knew that. The questions aren't about Gunther. Maybe that reestablished Gunther as a more of a player because it's kind of been lackadaisical, especially as I mentioned, he wasn't even on the debut episode of Netflix for Raw. He was kind of put backseat to Seth Rollins and CM Punk in tribal combat between Roman and Solo at that event. But ultimately, it's just like Gunther has kind of been playing in the background. He's kind of just been teasing Jey Uso and stuff like that. So he finally got overboard and got into real heel level persona and butchered Jimmy Uso, which I thought was okay. But it's just like, is that what's needed? Is this? It just fell flat from the standpoint of like, how is this helping Jey Uso? And maybe it's giving him motivation to finally overcome and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
but it's just like
exactly what it is.
It's just like, I'm just not sold. I'm just not sold.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Would you say it's Jay's reaction, or just the whole thing in general is not even like a booster for Jay or whatever?
I just don't think it's a boost. I just don't.
I understand what they're doing, and like you said, it's a motivation. It's like you took out my brother, and I even like the little nod. The little nod that he gave Jimmy right before the match. He was like, "Be careful," and then this is what happens, And then you guys talking about you try ripping out of a zip tie. Let's see how easy it is for you to get out of a zip tie.
I'm not saying that I would have been able to do it, but there should have been at least a little more.
Right.
There should have been at least a little more.
Okay,
I wanted Bianca level screaming.
Okay,
of him trying to get out that corner.
Okay, Daniel, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Luz.
No, go Brian.
No, because I think I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to relate and understand what you're saying. I think that as far as this story goes, I think like the parameters of this story have like changed like 2 or 3 times. That's the reason why it's coming off the way it's coming off. Because when the story first started, Jay wins the Rumble. He comes out for those nights that the crowd is cheering for him, and then they kind of were going with this whole he's an underdog against Gunther. Then
which is the natural story.
Yeah, it was the underdog. Yeah, then Then that it went from being an underdog to then getting in his own head with the botches, the quick squash match, him interacting with A-Town down under. Now it's all about him getting in his own going head. Now that's transferred into his brother, then trying to give him some positive reinforcement, and then continuing with that story. Then that flipped into now this Rocky 4-esque story between Gunther and Jay with his brother getting attacked, which I do agree. Daniel, you said that it kind of made Gunther look even stronger and more legitimate. And then you're saying that we as the fans already knew that going into it. But at the same time, I can also make the point that a lot of fans have been critiquing this world heavyweight title reign that Gunther has had. They compare it to the IC title reign that he had, and they say it's night and day. That the booking for it hasn't gone as well. So in a sense, you can make the argument that this segment reestablished Gunther as a threat, as that guy that he was when he was the IC champion. So I think we can make that argument as well.
Hold on one second. I'm just researching something. But yeah, ultimately, it's just for me. It's just I don't know if it's too late or not, but it's just like
I don't think so.
I don't like the booking. I understand what they were doing, and this was I felt like it was a desperation to get the angle over.
See, if they had done the story, this like I said, this Rocky 4 story, if this had been the direction from the very beginning, with Jimmy and like you suggested, Daniel Ludwig Kaiser being involved in the first place,
if they would have done it earlier. If they would have done this earlier, maybe that would have done it.
Like off rip?
Maybe like a week after
I view it different. I feel like maybe it wasn't done in the best way. Like you say, they shouldn't have had the squash match. I think they should have had. I think the doubt is the best way to present hey, you're an underdog in this match. You faced Gunther a bunch of times. You've always lost. Can you actually beat him? I think that makes sense logically. And maybe they could have approached it a slightly different way. But I think like Brian said, you had all these weeks of Jay just coming out hot, cheering, blah, blah, blah. He had his little back and forth promos with Gunther. And maybe, I don't know. I think it makes sense in the terms of that, yes, he's coming off the high of winning the Rumble, he's got to prove himself, this and this and that. But then it's that story of can he really do it? He's getting in his head. He even says it in his words yo, everyone's doubting me. The internet's doubting me. Everybody's talking shit. That's why I'm it makes sense because if we were so high on this dude and everything that he's done so far, and now he's being put under a microscope. Well, does he really deserve it? Oh, he has only 3 moves. Oh, he only does this. He's not great. And it's just how did everything get flipped in such a short period of time?
You want to know how it got flipped? Because he's standing across from a man who has done everything and has been the best wrestler probably in the world.
Done everything. He hasn't done everything.
Gunther has done everything besides probably win the Royal Rumble. He's won King of the Ring. He's won the Intercontinental title.
He hasn't won the Rumble.
I mean, he hasn't
Elimination Chamber.
He hasn't won the WWE title yet.
Exactly.
Cody Rhodes has it. Roman Reigns had it.
No, I'm just saying.
Gunther away from those guys.
Gunther's still brand new to this main roster. There's a lot of people he has not faced at all.
Well, yeah, I can't wait till he
hasn't faced is Roman.
He hasn't faced Seth.
Yeah, he has a face. Well, actually, I think he did.
Did he? I don't think he's.
I don't think it was a. Hold on. I don't think it was a. Hold on. I think it was a program. I think initially when Seth came back, didn't he? When he came off the hiatus, did he target Gunther initially?
When he was IC champ?
Clash at the Castle.
Yeah. Wasn't that a Clash at the Castle title match?
Oh,
Seth
wait, no,
that was him and Randy. Clash at the Castle.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That was him and Randy. His first title defense.
I typed the wrong thing. Hold on.
No, it was the one in Germany or the one in
Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, Bash in Berlin was the Randy match.
Yeah. He faced Damian a bunch of times. He's faced Drew. He hasn't faced Roman.
That's what I'm saying. That when they eventually do a Roman Reigns and Gunther program, yeah, that's going to be humongous.
Yeah,
I don't know who's the baby face or the heel in that one.
Gunther's best work was
Roman would be the tweener baby face.
They're both tweeners in that case.
I don't know if you guys saw.
No, Gunther would be straight up heel.
Yeah. I don't know if
he would talk down to his wrestling ability.
Who's booing Gunther?
A lot of people boo Gunther.
Man,
I don't know if you guys have seen those WWE LFG clips of Gunther on the most recent episode.
Yeah,
he is going at these young kids. He is such a. He pretty much told them, "Oh, so you guys are only here because your first passion didn't work out, right?"
Like damn, man. Like damn, man. I mean, just trying to get a job. Just trying to earn a paycheck.
I'm saying, okay, it didn't work out. Now we want to, but just because it wasn't the first dream, he's like, so yeah. So you guys are wasting your time trying to do something that wasn't your first love. like he was.
He's sticking it to him for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Like telling one of the girls, yeah, you smile too damn much and all this stuff.
Like, damn, not everybody's a heel, man. Sorry, man. Not everybody's stone face.
He's his natural character, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, there's no. I'm like thinking, like this must be how you really are, because you don't have to be in character right now. You're trying to teach, so you must really be an asshole.
Hey, man, the cameras are rolling at all times, man. Nah, man, I just feel like this was needed, and this is probably the next step in the story. But it's just like, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm trying to be optimistic about this, but Gunther looks like a badass. Jay, I'm just trying to figure out, is he going to make it in time? Because it's only 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and it's just like, this is probably, I'm like, what's going to happen until then? But let's keep moving on. Let's head to the women's side of things. Naomi is done being underappreciated. That kick-ass promo I thought on SmackDown. What do you guys make of it in her interactions with Jade Cargill?
All right. So I know last week that when we were raking the storylines, I was very critical of the direction of this story, and the only reason why I was so critical was just because I felt that Jade's 2 beatdowns were more significant than Naomi's one. But then when you really go back and you think about it, Jade's first beatdown needed to be that significant because she was coming back. It was a surprise. It was at a PLE. We storyline wise, we still didn't know that Naomi was the attacker. Bianca was in the ring too. So in a sense, that the beatdown needed to be as vicious as it was. And then obviously the follow up on SmackDown from Jade was also still telling a story, because Bianca was also out there for that as well. So now moving on to the promo that Naomi cut. I mean, I just
want to point out that I had this in the good ranking, close to Red Hot. That's all I wanted to point out. Oh, yeah. I put it up there. That's all.
I wouldn't say it's red hot. I think it's good.
I mean, it's right there. It's getting red hot. It's getting there.
Yeah, but then I also had to kind of like rewatch Naomi's beatdown on Jade from last week to actually see that, like, okay, no, she got her hits in. I still feel that Jade's was a little bit better, but like I said, that was more by design because of the moment. Mm-hmm. But this promo that they did for her, I mean, that was magnificent. I love when they paint these characters in a different light, because Naomi has been like the biggest baby face for the number of years in WWE. I don't know if when she was in TNA as Trinity, if she was a heel at any point during that time, but I
don't think so.
But the entire so for the longest time, at least since like I think since they initially split the roster, she's had this globe character, and she's always been a baby face. So that for them to flip back and actually show her that she can be a heel, I love the outfit, the fact that caution is pretty much her tagline right now. Proceed with caution. I love the presentation of it. I mean, this is going to lead to a match with her and Jade at WrestleMania. So the character work that she's displayed has been tremendous, and I can only hope, and we can only hope that moving forward, it just gonna continues to improve. I mean, Jade's role. I'm still always gonna believe that Jade is a natural heel anyway. But Naomi is. But this side that they brought out of Naomi has been like very impressive. The presentation is top notch.
Yeah, I do like this heel Naomi. I hope it's a little better than her past heel iterations.
You didn't like Team Bad?
Even before Team Bad, I remember she was a heel.
Yeah,
this is around when the Bella twins were around, and Bella, remember Twin Magic with the titles when they had the women's title, Nikki Bella, and I think they only.
I thought that was Alicia Fox.
No, not Alicia Fox, but Naomi was a heel initially before Team Bad. I have to find the actual pay-per-view that she debuted at, but she wasn't an actual heel, but she was a victim of Vince McMahon booking, so that's the reason why probably nobody remembers it.
Oh boy,
I do. Yeah, maybe I'm just thinking of Team Bad because I'm like, I know I remember her as heel, but then she was a babyface when she won the title and stuff. So I don't know, but I'm hoping that this match is gonna build. I mean, like, there's only so much time left, but I hope they I want it to be in that red hot. I don't think it's there yet. For me, it's just very good, but it needs like some type of big brawl, some big moment to really like elevate it. Obviously, there's a great story between it. Everything that Elimination Chamber, not knowing who it was, and now we know. But hopefully, it's like it gives both of these women like more depth, more excitement, more people invested, so that
more direction.
It's exactly. Great direction and just a great payoff at Mania. So, but definitely looking forward to it though. I definitely want to see how much better Jade has improved, and we all know Naomi's great in the ring. They should put on a banger. So,
yeah, I can't wait to see what they're going to do at WrestleMania. I'm just thinking of Jade's comeback. Ricky Starks is in the company and stuff like that. We know they train together and stuff like that. So maybe that's something that's been behind the scenes while she's been away for a while. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, I'm just finally happy that Naomi's heel because we all love the glow and all that stuff. And it was just like, we need something different. It was kind of like Bayley with the hugger gimmick and the wacky waveable inflatable tube men and the streamers and stuff like that. It's like, nah, there's something else here. And when Bayley went heel, it was like, oh shit, there's something else here. Remember that was during the pandemic, but it was awesome what she was doing. Hopefully we can get that when some form or version of Naomi in this. And I've said it before, she's not as physically imposing as Jade. How does she do that? She's got to get the metaphor, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
I wonder if that's actually being saved for WrestleMania. Probably.
Yeah, I want that to happen.
How Naomi comes out on top.
If
we can get involved.
Triple H, if you're listening, just do it. Just do it. It's right there in front of you. It's good TV. It's good for SmackDown. Naomi's a veteran. They can be her lackeys. Lash Legend's a beast. Jakara Jackson's good. Just put them together and give something. If we're gonna do a babyface Jade, you need something for her to go up against. So you need something. So make it happen.
Hey, they already hinted at her and Charlotte.
Oh yeah, that little stare down.
Yeah,
they've had They had a couple more interactions. Like when Jade first went to SmackDown to check it out, Charlotte was there. So they're hinting at that. So we'll see if it happens. Let's continue to move on here to Finn Balor getting his first win in 2025. If I'm not mistaken.
Jesus Christ.
This is a shame. It was a great match between Penta, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. It was a great match. But Finn Balor finally gets a win.
Oh my God.
I can't believe how far he's fallen. And I get it. People will say that he hasn't fallen. He's on TV every week. He's in storyline, so he's being used XYZ. But it's just like I can't understand this. How he's just fallen. The match was great. I thought it was a good match on Raw. I thought they gave those guys time to do their thing. Obviously, Judgment Day got in there and helped out, but I just feel bad for him. I don't know what they're doing. Obviously, they're trying to plant seeds between Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan and Finn and all this stuff. It is just like, I wonder what's going to happen. Because that situation's funny because remember, it was Finn Balor a couple months ago that took the room key. It's kind of fallen by the wayside. Something happened. I don't know if they're going to play on that at some point or whatever's going on, but something's going on. Something's going on.
That was cool. It's a giant swerve where they kick Dom out because Liv is still pissed about the whole Rhea thing. And I don't know. That's all
she's been messing with Finn this whole time.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe that's the next element of that storyline. But I just couldn't believe it. He's finally getting his first win. I'm like,
that's crazy though.
But it is crazy. But I'm also just intrigued at what exactly is going to be happening with the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania now. Yes. I know they have been focused on this story with Dom and Finn. I mean, I think we are predicting a multi-man match of some sort.
Finn,
maybe
Dom,
a ladder match. Finn,
Ludwig, Penta, Braun Breaker, Sheamus. That should be the.
I totally forgot about Sheamus. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's so many heads on this damn roster, bro. Like, so many guys that you could look at Sheamus. You could put Sheamus in a world title match right now, and like he has like legitimacy. He's a little former champion. He's so legitimate that like there's believability that he could win. They have like six or seven guys that maybe that they're not using right now that fit that bill. Nakamura falls in that category. Andrade falls in that category. All these guys that are kind of getting lost in the shuffle. And this is the reason why when I see on social media about people saying that they should bring in other guys, they should I saw a report that when Mariah May's deal is up that she may come to WWE. I'm just like,
wow.
Like, yo, they have enough talent that's not being used right now. They don't need to be bringing in anybody else. And plus, you got talent at NXT that still needs to come up. And like, you don't need to bring in
Williams, the metaphor, Roxanne Perez.
NXT, you have the talent at NXT. You don't need to signing all these people from AEW and such. Just like it's
Miro reportedly is coming back. Rusev.
Yes. Rusev Day.
But see, he's another guy. Like now, obviously he has the character. I would love for them to keep the character he had in AEW. That God of character.
No. Bring back Rusev with the tank. That's what I want.
And you got Rusev. Now
he lost right now.
Yeah. You got Rusev.
Find another one.
And another thing I didn't even think of.
Find a legitimate Russian lady.
Yeah. and then you got the guys who are injured right now. I mean, you got Bronson Reed, who's out. You got Dragunov, who's out. Like
what happened? He tore his ACL, right?
He tore his ACL. You got Tyler Bate, who just came back. Like
finally.
So many. So it's like, yo, you don't need to be. I mean, I understand business, but it's like you got plenty of talent right there in front of you that just isn't being utilized. Like you don't have to, sign all these guys from AEW or whatever.
Yeah, it's just tough. But yeah, I'm just surprised. It's been 4 months and Finn Balor finally gets a win. So it's just crazy. Let's get into the main event on Raw. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley ending double DQ with special guest referee Bianca Belair.
Who didn't see that coming?
Was a great match. And we got a fluky finish.
We got that those referee bumps.
Yeah. Oh man, it wasn't the Patrick flop, but What do you guys make of this matchup? And obviously, we all thought it would end this way, but what do you guys make of it?
Predictable.
Predictable. I mean, you knew that, but you knew it was going to be a great match, and it was a good match up until until Bianca took the first of the 2 referee bumps that she took. As soon as she took that referee bump, the match kind of went sour for me, because it's just like, okay, now we know for sure that like what the direction that they're going in. I mean, if you listen to Michael Cole on commentary when Rhea Ripley was attacking both of them, Michael Cole pretty much made it clear that like, okay, it is going to be a triple threat. I think the only positive that I can actually take from this entire program is just the fact that Rhea Ripley just coming out and just signing her name on the contract is kind of like they got away from that. That's the only positive they got away from that bullshit, because it really was bullshit when they did that, because it was going to set a bad precedent moving forward. But glad they got away from that. We know what direction that they're ultimately heading towards, and I know, like we talked about in the weeks prior. I mean, everybody really wanted Rhea and Bianca 1-on-1. No, Io Sky ain't no flop either though. So it's like,
I mean, she's beaten Rhea Ripley, and she's hanging with her in the ring. So there's no doubt about it that she belongs in that stratosphere of that match and stuff like that. But it's just like, yeah, this ending in DQ is just like, okay, we know where this is going. It's just like, all right, Adam Pearce, come. I don't need one of your it's official tweets. We just need you to come.
No, they just put a tweet out right now with the graphic of the triple threat now. That's all you need to do. Don't even make it a segment or anything. Just put the graphic out on Twitter right now. That's all you need to do.
Saying, yeah, it's official. That's all we need. But it's just like,
basically,
I'm just like, we got here. We didn't know how we were going to get here, but we got here. So definitely going to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania between those 3 ladies. Can't wait to see it. Should be good. Other notes: the Street Profits defeated Pretty Diddly on SmackDown.
Pretty Diddly.
Pretty Diddly. Pretty Diddly. Diddly.
Pretty Diddly.
I mean, if you want to get technical, the gimmicks are a little diddly. If we want to get technical,
that's that Flanders shit. Shout out to Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders. Pretty Diddly.
Pretty Diddly.
Speaking of Pretty Diddly, I don't know if you guys watched NXT last night, but they're continuing this story with Hank and Tank kind of interacting with these old teams. They're trying to find their way. They literally had a Pretty Deadly had Hank and Tank put on those tops that they wear into the ring.
Oh my god!
I was just like, wow. This is what we do. This is what we're doing.
You gotta try to show the history between the NXT call-ups and who was there in the past. So I guess that's a good way of doing it. We had Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Javon Evans have their little promo session last night, and Javon Evans getting underneath Trick Williams' skin, calling him Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Javon Evans is kind of he's like what 2021 inserted himself inserted himself into this title picture, and it's just like, okay, there's something brewing here with Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans. So can't wait to see what happens there. There's some other stuff. I'm trying to think what else happened. Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria will be on this week's Raw coming up. Bayley came out and helped her in last week's match. So we'll see what happens there. I can't wait to see what happens. What is it? El Americano? I forgot his name. He's going to be debuting El Grande Americano. There we go. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for the assist. We'll be debuting in Minnesota next week, and we saw the segment with Chad Gable saying, "Hey, that's my hometown. I'm going to be fine by then." So we're going to see what happens with this that whole situation. So can't wait to see what happens with that. Any AEW notes, Brian, that you want to touch in? Let me.
Before we get into AEW, also. Ray Phoenix is debuting on SmackDown this coming Friday.
Yes, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah. They haven't said anything about Aleister Black, though, right?
I mean, they've been showing those promos, which clearly shows that he's coming. But Ray Phoenix is going to be very, very interesting because in my mind, my question is, how long before they pair him and Penta back up again? Because Penta is doing a hell of a job right now on his own as a solo run.
Yeah.
So you might not necessarily even want to put them back together in the foreseeable future because he's doing.
I think it's going to happen after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
With the draft and
or
stuff
the
like
next
that.
draft.
Yeah. I think that's where it's going to happen because it's like him by himself on SmackDown, and it's like, are you going to put him in that U.S. title picture? Kind of like what they're doing with Penta on the Intercontinental title. So it's like maybe that's what they're doing. And maybe he gets into the match at WrestleMania and stuff like that. So maybe that's his little build up and introduction into the company. But can't wait to see what happens with him, man, because he's an interesting character. We obviously want to see him and Penta team up at some point. But Penta's doing a good job.
That's how honestly that's honestly just my only fear with that, just because Penta has made such an impact. If you put them back together as a tag team, I mean, what they can do, but at the same time, it's just kind of like Penta's doing so well over here on his own that the tag team works, but you kind of want to continue to see Penta continue to grow on his own. But that's just me. As far as AEW goes, they do have a pay-per-view this weekend.
Oh God!
Yes,
AEW Dynasty is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Coming from the Leah Corus Center in Philadelphia. Let me take a look at what's been announced for the card so far. I'm pulling it up.
Swerve and John Moxley.
Yep. So Swerve will be facing John Moxley for the title.
It's not a death match. It's just a regular match.
They had a promo. They actually had a very good promo segment on Dynamite last week, where Swerve kind of referenced a promo that Moxley cut on John Cena when John Cena was a part-timer in WWE in 2016. I think as Dean Ambrose, Moxley had said, you can keep continuing to play John Cena on TV, and then Swerve then said, well, you can continue to keep playing John Moxley on TV, and within his promo segment. But that's gonna be a good match. I don't think Moxley is losing the title anytime soon, even though everybody's waiting for him to lose it because the time of this Death Rider storyline. So there's that. You got Timeless Toni Storm. She's going to be defending the AEW Women's title against Megan Bayne. Daniel, have you seen Megan Bayne?
I've seen a little bit of her, but she uses the tombstone, right?
Oh no, she uses the F5. All right, so
the F5?
The
girl in NXT uses it.
Oh, you talking about Zarya? Yeah,
Zarya uses it.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, well, they both.
Okay.
So Megan Bayne is essentially like this. Well, she's pretty much, she dresses like an Egyptian goddess, but I'm trying to remember what her tagline is. But she's pretty much this towering female that hasn't spoken a word since she's debuted. They haven't done a promo package for her. They haven't. She's in this partnership with Penelope Ford that hasn't really been explained. I don't know.
Are you saying it's Goldberg S?
No, that's literally what it is. It's pretty much a Goldberg build.
She gives that Phoenix vibe
with Brock
in
Lesnar's
terms of stature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Goldberg build with Brock Lesnar's finisher. That's pretty much what she said. They haven't. I don't know if they did one on Dynamite. I'm going to take a look at it later, but they haven't done any promo package to kind of introduce her, to try to give her some character, because she hasn't even cut a promo yet on TV. It's literally just been attacking people, and that's it. So Toni Storm has been the one carrying the character work of it. So it's still going to be a good match. Then we got a triple threat with Kenny Omega defending the international title against Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey, who they just signed. Obviously,
I have no idea who that is.
Isn't he from TNA?
So he was in TNA, and pretty much he was I want to say he was TNA's version of Will Ospreay as far as the matches go. If you needed a good match, you can just put Speedball in it, and you're gonna get a good match. He actually, I talk about Will Ospreay. He had a match with Ospreay in TNA that I saw the highlights for, and I could say bro, this is like a top 10 match of the year because that's how good it was. So Speedball is proven. Ricochet is still doing the heel gimmick, and Kenny Omega is Kenny Omega. So match quality wise, it's gonna be a very good match. Then we got the Death Riders, which is Claudio, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta, They're going to be defending the trios titles against rated FTR of Cope and Dash.
They still have those titles.
Yeah. But no. They Death Rise have essentially been treating the trio titles like how Moxley, treats his world title. It's kind of like out of sight, out of sight, out of mind. But that they're the champions. They've been kind of telling this story with FTR and Cope, where it seems as though like FTR is actually about to split. They had a segment on Collision where like Dax had a match and like he lost the match, and then he went crazy on the referee, and then Cash was trying to hold him back, and then he ended up accidentally pushing Cash down, and then Cash just left the ring after. So obviously things are going to break down in the 6-man coming up. Let's see what else is on the card. Let's see here. Oh. My guy Chris Jericho is going to be defending the Ring of Honor title against Bandito in a title versus mass match.
He's still wrestling? God damn it!
I mean, they started this on I think on the
you want to know what
pay-per-view.
You want to know who Chris Jericho is? He's this era's Ric Flair. Just hang it up. I'm tired of seeing it.
No, hey, he can still be the lion, so all right, leave him.
He still has value. Chris Jericho is still valuable to that company. They need Chris Jericho. But yeah, he's facing Bandito. I think they started the angle. The angle's been ongoing in Ring of Honor for a number of months now. But on the pre-show of their last pay-per-view, I think Jericho attacked Bandito's brother, which is Gravity, another luchador, and then like he took Gravity's mask. So that's how that's how that story is playing out. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Definitely that pretty much means that Bandito is winning this match because I mean, luchadors' masks are sacred, and I don't think they plan on taking Bandito's mask off.
Whoa! Kevin Nash defeated Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio had to take off his mask.
I mean, that was a plan. They wanted to take off Rey Mysterio. Then we got Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole for the TNT title. This match is going to have no time limit, and there's going to be no one allowed at ringside. They're running it back from their match that they had on Collision that ended in a draw. So that speaks for itself. That's going to be very entertaining. And they also the Owen Hart tournament for both the men and the women. They revealed the brackets on Dynamite tonight, and 2 of those matches are going to be on the card. Will Ospreay is going to be facing a new upcomer that they just signed. His name is Kevin Knight. Based upon what I saw on Collision and what I saw on Dynamite, Kevin Knight, Kevin Knight is pretty much another Carmelo Hayes. That's pretty much what he is. He's essentially another Carmelo Hayes with Back to the Future glasses. That's who he is. From what I see,
40. He's 48.
Kevin Knight.
Am I looking at the right thing?
Yeah, talking about. Yeah, I think you're looking at the wrong thing.
I'm looking.
No, I know exactly what you're looking at. Because I'm looking at I think I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah, but that's
okay.
That's
not
the right night.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, okay, there we go. Though he's 28. My bad. I was 20 years off.
Essentially, he's another Carmelo.
Just added 20 years just on the man.
Just try to finish his career, man.
And then the last match I'm seeing here on the card is that Mercedes Moné is going to be facing Julia Hart in round 1 of the Owen Hart tournament. And those are the only matches that have been announced for the card. But you already know with AEW pay-per-view, they're about to announce like 4 pre-show matches that nobody's going to care about at some point between now and Sunday. So for the sake of this podcast, I will be tuning in. like I've always said about AEW pay-per-views. Just
the pay-per-views are good. Yes, please.
Watch the pay-per-views like it's a UFC show just for the in-ring action. Don't think about it. Watch them for the action because action.
Don't care about the weigh-in. Don't care about the promos and the training.
Just watch the action. The action always delivers. But that's it though. That's the only strength. Just the action. We're the best wrestlers. AEW.
I don't know where I'm going to get back into AEW. I don't know. It's been a while.
This weekend.
Do I want to waste?
Do it.
Do I want to waste my Sunday?
Yes, you do.
Lewis, I'm pulling up.
There you go.
I'm just thinking.
I gotta work that done.
I'm just thinking. Swerve and John Moxley are going to do something crazy.
Yeah,
that's going to lead to a crazier match. Because we already know Swerve goes there. We already know John Moxley goes there. So
All right.
we'll see what happens with those guys.
Yeah, man. I don't think you see. We want Swerve to come out on top, but that's only because people are just like I said, they're over this fucking Death Rider storyline. Like look at Lewis. Look at Lewis. He's getting drowsy. He's falling asleep right now because I mentioned in the damn storyline. I mean, like people are tired of it, bro, because it's not going anywhere. I mean, it's not entertaining. It's not going anywhere. I mean, it's a
we didn't get the Shane McMahon reveal, which would have gave this legs.
Yeah, it would have.
And we never got it. And we don't know what is Shane doing, if he has anything to do with this. And I don't see why he doesn't. You're not going back to WWE. Do we think he's going back to WWE?
Who?
Shane.
No.
I don't think so. Nah.
I don't need him.
I mean,
don't need him.
If he is gonna go back, it should just be like strictly on-air talent, though. Not like in a backstage, like managerial role or as a producer.
Really?
Like, I mean, like
I don't want to see him in ring unless he's going to be a GM.
I don't want him to have influence because I mean, if you believe some of these reports, whenever he's had influence, I mean, it hasn't exactly worked out well. I mean,
you mean Raw Underground and
the Fight Pit and all that bullshit
and shit like that? But shit, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
And nice with the April Fool's joke the other day, Lewis, with Vince McMahon buying TNA Wrestling. That was
played. I was like, what? But it also made sense because they were like firing people and stuff. I was like, oh,
they are firing. They just fired Gail Kim.
Yeah.
Which everybody's still going crazy about.
I'm like,
why her? Like, as far as
I know they have a partnership with WWE, and I know she hasn't had the greatest partnership with WWE. I don't know if that was a factor. I mean, but it's just like she's been there so long. Like they lost Scott D'Amore.
Let me change that. No, it's not that she didn't have a good good relationship with WWE. She didn't have a good relationship with Vince McMahon. That's what that was. Because I firmly believe in this current era, if they wanted to bring her back for one more run, they definitely should. And I think she would be interested in it under this different management. So for like one more run. Please sign Gail Kim. Or at least if you're not gonna use her as an on-air talent, have her sign her and then bring her down to NXT to work with those girls. She could I had heard like all these tweets about these superstars from these TNA wrestlers, or they all talked about how much of a motivator that she is and how she is. So like NXT, like that would be perfect for her.
Yeah, for sure.
Roxanne Perez last match in NXT because she just loses all the time anyway. That's all she's been doing. Her Lash Legend.
Roxanne lost. She lost on NXT last night.
In the North American qualifier for the ladder match,
which was a surprise.
So it's like, damn, I don't know. Is it a surprise because she's on her way out?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like,
well, she's on her way out, but like I thought that they were gonna do a story with her and Bailey, but it looks like they pivoted from that since Bailey's working with Lyra. I thought that would have been a perfect scenario for Roxanne to come in because
maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Or unless they're just saving it for another time. That way they can really like elaborate and get into it. Because now we got 2 weeks before WrestleMania. You can't really tell that compelling story. Like, yeah, save it for after.
At this point, is the women's Intercontinental or US going to make the card?
It needs to.
I don't know if it is. I don't know what's going to make the card. We got Randy and KO.
Yeah, I know. That's the crazy thing. Like, you really don't. You got Randy and KO. You got AJ and the Logan Paul.
Yeah. We got Damian. We got Damian and
Drew.
Whoa. You guys are not fans of AJ Styles versus Logan Paul?
I'm a fan of AJ Styles.
Whoa, I'm gonna treat this. I'm gonna treat this like you told me to treat AEW. Don't care about the build.
Just about to say. I was actually gonna make that point. Like for that specific match, don't worry about the story. Just focus on the match for that one.
Because I'm pretty sure they've been working with each other.
They're gonna have a big match.
Hopefully, it's dope.
Yeah,
we got Drew and Damian.
Yep.
We got Cody and Cena. We got Jay and Gunther. We got Charlotte and Tiffany. And we have
Naomi.
We have Jade and Naomi. It's like, where are they going to be? It is 2 nights, so that's the only thing that's saving it. But man, shit, I don't know what they're going to do. But we still got 2 weeks until the WrestleMania. Our next episode will be episode 100. So that's going to be dope. Can't wait to do that with you guys. It's been a long run. We've been putting in the work. But this will be the end of this episode. As always, thank you guys for joining me. And remember, everyone, always kick on 2. Keep fighting. Till next time.